Hey everybody, so this is a Toyota 4Runner. It's one of the most capable new vehicles you can buy, and as you can see, we've got a wonderful snowy Colorado day. And in today's video, we're gonna test the capability of the 4Runner in the snow using the stock tires, and then we're gonna test out this super cool traction aid and demonstrate how a simple device can really improve even the snow capability of one of the most capable four-wheel drives you can buy. This video is brought to you by K&K Auto Accessories, and today we are testing the Snow Sock. But first, let's see what this 4Runner has in terms of tires. This 4Runner is rolling on a set of the standard Dunlop all-season tires it came out of the factory with. They have 30,000 miles on it. Now you might be thinking, living in Colorado, are snow tires a legal requirement? And the answer is no, they are not. Many folks run on standard all-season tires like these Dunlops equipped on this 4Runner. So that's how we're going to test this car today and then see if the traction aid will make a big difference. Wow. Man, I forgot how much I love 4Runners. Even a standard 4Runner like this is just such a good vehicle and is one of the best four-wheel drives out there. I just love them. They're old, the interior's a little dated, but they just fit like a glove. This 4-liter sounds great. That 5-speed automatic shifts through the gears, a lot of confidence. They're just great vehicles. So, we're out here in Colorado. Got this steep hill in front of me. It's not gonna look very steep on camera, but in person, it's pretty darn steep. Got a good 4 or 5 inches of snow, and we're gonna line up to the start cone here, and then accelerate up the hill first in two-wheel drive, and we're gonna see how long it takes to get from the start cone to the end cone. All right, so I'm gonna accelerate in the two-wheel drive test, in drive, traction control on, as you would drive this thing every day. In 3, 2, 1, go. So, being pretty gentle on the accelerator, trying to minimize wheel spin, but we are getting it and we are not moving anywhere. Oh wow. Okay, let's see, what can I do? Maybe just a little bit of a kind of a crawling technique here, just trying to get some traction, trying to minimize any wheel spin. I've got a track. I don't believe that works in too high. We're going sideways, but we're not moving at all. And this is the danger of running an all-season tire in a snowy environment. And I see this all the time, guys. You're probably thinking, this is unrealistic. It is not. In Colorado, I would say the vast majority of drivers, two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, run all-season tires all year round. Guys, that's a fail. I can't move up this hill at all. Let me try traction control disabled. I can try that off. Track off. A lot more wheel spin. There we go. Oh, we're going. Just trying to match tire speed with the vehicle speed. That's where we're going to get the most traction. In two-wheel drive. Trying to be quite gentle on the accelerator. Don't want to go sliding off the road here as we're doing now. Very sideways now. It's getting steeper though. It is not going very well. We definitely got farther with traction control on though, and we're stuck. All right, that was a fail. How long did it take me to get 3/4 of the way up the hill?
I mean, from the very start, we're looking at 2 minutes of just flailing.
All right, I'm gonna back down and we're gonna try 4 high, because clearly that did not work. That did not work very well.
No, it did not.
All right, so next up, 4 high. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit on our course to start in some fresh tracks. We give it a fair go.
Whenever you are.
So we're in fresh tracks, 4-wheel drive high. We're gonna turn traction control on as you would drive it every day. We're trying to simulate your typical driver. All right, Grant, are you ready?
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1, go. So with those front wheels clawing, immediately a lot more grip, and traction control actually let just a little bit of wheel spin there. It's about 17 miles an hour, 18 miles an hour, up to 20 there, and across the line.
All right, 14.6 seconds.
14.6 is gonna be the time to beat, huh? So I also want to see what the difference is in terms of brake performance. So we're going to do a brake test down the hill from 20 miles an hour, first up with no traction aid, and then with the traction aids, and we're going to see if there's any improvement. So we're going to accelerate up to 20 miles an hour. We're in 4-wheel drive high for this test, but of course we're focusing on the braking. Okay, there's 20 miles an hour, and I'm going to hit the brakes as hard as I can as soon as I get to the cone right now. Wow, that's a long stopping distance right there. We're still stopping, and a little slide at the end as ABS disengaged. So here we have the K&K Auto Accessory Snow Sock. This is pretty cool. This is like an alternative to a chain or a cable. It gives you traction at low speeds to get up that tricky mountain pass, to get up that really steep driveway, and we're going to test them out. Now they are tied to your vehicle tire size. These ones are the XXL, and they cost right around $140, and you can see how they work. So they're actually this mesh material which grips into the snow and the ice, and then this hugs the sidewall. The red side goes on the outer portion of the sidewall. The great thing about these versus like chains or cables is I feel a lot safer with these if they come off. You know, I'm not so worried about them damaging an alloy wheel or a wheel speed sensor, something like that. All right, so here we go. This is how they work. The gray portion slips over the tire like such, and then it's got some elastic which hugs the sidewall. And they even provide these really snazzy gloves, which I like. Like that. And now what we're going to do is drive forward and finish the installation. Good.
A little more. Yep.
Oh yeah. Look at that. So in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, the snow sock is on and we're ready to do our test again. All right. The snow sock is now on the rear wheels of this 4Runner, and if you wanted maximum grip, you could even put them on all 4, but we're going the affordable route, just 2 on the rear wheels. Now I've gone back into 2-wheel drive, traction control on, and we're going to try this hill climb acceleration. As a reminder, last time in 2-wheel drive, we only made it like 3/4 of the way up before getting stuck, and that took 2 minutes. All right, folks, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. 2-wheel drive in 3, 2, 1, accelerate. Now immediately far more traction, way better. Look at that, we're also not fishtailing around like we were before, and this is in fresh tracks. So you can see the control over what we had before is amazing. You know, people think you need to be messing with chains and cables to have a noticeable difference in traction, but these socks are working so well. That was 18 miles an hour, by the way.
21.4 seconds.
Wow, and that was in too high traction on, everything on. That was really impressive.
All right, so finally, snow sock on, 4-wheel drive high. Let's go ahead and engage that and see if we have any more acceleration in 4-wheel drive high. I feel a lot safer doing this too because we're getting a lot less fishtail in the rear, which is a big deal. All right, guys, snow sock on, 4 high, traction on. Are we ready?
Ready.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. So the combination of the socks on the rear and those wheels in the front really have a dramatic impact. We're still in fresh tracks here. There's 20 and 25 miles an hour, which is their recommended maximum speed, and across the line, but it had a lot more to give.
Holy smokes, 11.6 seconds.
So we dropped several seconds, even in 4-wheel drive.
So the acceleration difference is dramatic. It's big. All right, so now for a braking test. Now we have 2 of these snow socks and we applied them to the rear wheels because if you had a rear wheel drive car or even a 4-wheel drive car and you're looking up to get like a steep mountain pass and you're stuck, that's typically where you'd want to put them, is on the rear end. However, braking, most of the braking force comes from the front, so I'm not expecting a huge stopping difference here, but it's worth giving them a try. So accelerate up to 20 again. Once again, dramatic difference in terms of traction. And then we're gonna slam on our brakes at the cone. There's 20 miles an hour, and brake. Wow. So even on the rear wheels, that's That's pretty extraordinary. Let's take a look at that. Here we have the roller stick of truth, and we're gonna see what the difference in stopping distance was from just 20 miles an hour. There's 20 feet, 25 feet, 30 feet, 35 feet, 40 feet, 48 feet, 7 inches. That's the difference between stopping for the stop sign, or stopping for the parked car, or stopping for the intersection and sliding through. And that was from just 20 miles an hour. So even on the rear wheels, that sock made a huge difference. Now this is pretty cool. You can actually see the socks in action down here in the snow. These little patterns they make as you drive along. Another great thing about these socks is they seem to do a good job of retaining snow in the actual material, which is really excellent for traction, believe it or not, snow on snow. These snow socks are reusable, but one important thing to remember is to remove them before you drive on a dry surface. Well, I have to say I'm genuinely shocked at the performance difference between the standard 4Runner on the standard all seasons and that same exact vehicle with just $140 worth of snow socks. That is a huge improvement. Not only did we make it up the hill in 2-wheel drive with the socks, we made it up the hill in 4-wheel drive, nice and stable too, no fishtailing in the rear end, and the braking distance over 45 feet from 20 miles an hour is dramatic. That is such a big deal when it comes to vehicle safety. Now the cool thing about these socks too is they make them in every size, so even if you don't have a 4Runner, if you have a 2-wheel drive crossover or a 2-wheel drive SUV or a 2-wheel drive car, they can be a big game changer, even in areas where you don't get a lot of snow, like Dallas, like in Texas, where you might get the occasional snowfall. Those could really be the difference between making it home or getting stuck at work. Now, if you want to learn more about this product, be sure to click on the link below. And as always, thank you so much for watching this episode of TFL Car.